Hello guys and welcome back to Planet 40k, the Necrons channel. Now we're on episode number 5 I believe, where we're kind of looking into the faction focus in the Warhammer community articles that they've been releasing almost daily. And we're going through not only the army rules but the detachment rules and just looking for weaknesses so that when 10th edition does come we've got something to sort of work on rather than sort of everything coming at once and we go, damn, this is a lot to take in. So today we're going to be looking at the World Eaters. And I don't believe they've got their detachment rules up on the article, but they do have the army rule, although they have actually told us what the detachment will be called. Don't know if you guys noticed that, but we'll get onto that in a minute. So let's jump straight into this one. With the World Eaters, the army rule is Blessings of Khorne. So they've no longer got the blood type points anymore, they've got the Blessings of Khorne, which is their army rule. So the army faction is World Eaters. At the start of the battle round, you can make the Blessings of Khorne roll. To do so, you roll 8d6. Yep, that's what you would expect from Khorne, and you can use these dice to activate up to 2 Blessings of Khorne from the Blessings of Khorne list. We'll get into that in a moment. Each Blessing of Khorne specifies the dice results it requires. It's going to be a double or a triple, we'll get onto that as well. And you can only activate each Blessing of Khorne once per battle round. Any unused dice for the Blessings of Khorne roll are then discarded. Once activated, each Blessing of Khorne applies to all the units from your army with this ability until the end of the battle round. So they're going to roll this at the start of the battle round, so regardless of whether they're first, whether they're second, it's not a command phase to command phase thing, it's the start of the battle round, 8 dice, and this is what they get. So let's go through the list of what they're able to get from, well, when you're using these dice. So the first one is any double. Any double, they can spend those 2 dice out of the 8, and it adds 2 inches to the movement army wide. That's the worst one out the entire list, I believe, or the easiest one to achieve. And you're going to notice that you're going to need doubles, triples and whatnot to get all these abilities. So that one is the first one. The second one, any double again. Models in the unit have the Feel No Pain 6+ ability, so 6 plus Feel No Pain, very nice. And add 1 to the Feel, and if they've already got the Feel No Pain ability, they're going to add 1, so it's going to be a 5+ roll. So that's the second one. The third one is a double. It's going to be a 3+ double, so double 3, double 4, double 5, double 6. Can't be double 1, double 2 obviously. Melee weapons equipped with the models in the units have sustained hits 1 ability, so they roll a 6 to hit, they gain an additional hit. That's going to be quite good for them because, yeah, melee weapons, it's Khorne, that's what they do best, right? Total Carnage is the next one, double 4+ or any triple, so they're going to be spending potentially 3 dice from this one if they use the triple. Each time a model in the unit is destroyed by a melee attack, if that model was not yet fought this phase, roll a d6 on a 4+, do not remove it from play. The destroyed model can fight after the attacking model's unit has finished making its attacks, and then you remove it from play. So imagine they had, I don't know, 10 Khorne Berserkers, you've wiped them out in melee before they got to fight, you got really lucky I suppose. They roll a d6 for every single one of them, and on a 4+, so on average 5 of them are going to stand up, fight before they get removed. They'll probably chop you up before going, so that one is actually quite strong. The next one is a double 5+ or any triple. Melee weapons equipped with models, lethal hits. So lethal hits is when you roll a 6 to hit, you automatically wound. Very similar to our Gorse weapons now. That paired with the sustained hits ability could be quite nasty, you know. 6s give additional hits and 6s also automatically wound. Could be quite a nasty pairing. And the final one is a double 6 or a triple 4+. And the unit is eligible to declare a charge in which in a turn advance. That one, army wide, is nasty. I know Space Marines have it with their combat doctrines. We did that one, was that the previous video we did? One of their combat doctrines, the assault doctrine, where they could army-wide advance and charge. I think that's nasty. These guys are going to be able to do that as well. A triple 4+ or a double 6, you're going to see that quite often. So out of that entire list, your opponent is going to be able to select 2 of them, providing that they've got doubles and triples, and it's 8 dice. So they're going to at the very least get a double, or at the very least get a triple. Now I don't in fact know the odds of that, because so if you've got 8 dice, so yeah, the likelihood is they're going to be getting 2 of these. They might be the worst 2, they might just get 2 to the movement and a 6+ Feel No Pain save, but even that in itself is quite good. So at the very least they can have that army wide, and in fact if they do roll bad, you've got to kind of expect that as a minimum. So the minimum movement, for example, let's see, what's the movement of these guys? Khorne Berserkers have just got the 6-inch movement, so expect them to move 8 inches even though they have got a 6-inch on their data sheet. Just expect them to, at the very least, take that. Of course, if they roll better, they're not going to take that, but they're going to have something even worse, right? They're going to have something, well, worse for us, not worse for them. They're going to have sustained hits, lethal hits. They're going to have the standing up on a 4+, advance and charge. All of those abilities are going to be extremely useful for a melee-based faction. So this one is going to be very similar to one of the previous ones we did. This is more of an awareness to their rules rather than a weakness, because it's kind of so random. When you've got 8 dice, you can't really predict what they're going to do. I mean, in some ways you can, like a double 3+. You'd expect from 8 dice that they're going to get a double 3+. I mean, of course, it's odds, isn't it? You never know what to expect, really. But they're going to make a charge roll. You know, they're likely going to get into engagement range. They're going to want to be getting better in melee. They want to get the sustained hits ability. They want to get the lethal hits ability. They want that kind of stuff. But if it's like the first battle round where they're quite a distance from your army or our army, they're probably going to want to take the movement anyway. And then also the 6+ feel no pain save. They're probably going to want that anyway, just to keep them up and running. If they're sort of 24 inches away minimum, what good is the lethal hits ability at that stage in melee? They're not going to get into melee unless, I suppose, if they go second. So yeah, it's a pretty decent ability. It's a little bit random, but it does give the Khorne player a bit of flexibility to do what they want to do-ish, all depending on the dice, if that makes sense. Now, before we go on to something else, I just wanted to make note that they've also got a second army rule, which relates to Chaos Demons. Now, they've also got the Demonic Pact ability because of the allies kind of thing. Now, in the Chaos Demons video I did recently, I got it the wrong way around. I think I said in the video that you can get 250 points or 500 points of Space Marines into your list, but in actual fact, it's the other way around. You'll be getting 250 points or 500 points of Chaos Demons into a Space Marine list, if that makes sense, into a Chaos Space Marine list. So I got that the wrong way around. Kind of now does make sense. If you've got Lucius the Eternal, of course, he's a Chaos Space Marine model. So yeah, that's their second army rule, although that does kind of join to the Chaos Demons. Now, as mentioned in the intro, the detachment rule, they didn't disclose it. However, they did mention what it is in the stratagem. I don't know if you guys spotted that. In the stratagem Blood Offering, it says the Berserker Warband. So that's going to be what the detachment will be called. Berserker Warband. You'd obviously imagine it was to do with Berserkers. That's the Khorne thing anyway, right? And I might as well go through the stratagem while we're here. We may as well talk about it. So you can use this in any phase on a World Eaters army that was actually just destroyed, and they were within range of an objective marker. And you can effectively pop this for 1 command point, and you keep the marker because their blood has stained the objective, I suppose. So their marker is actually still under their control, even though you've actually destroyed the unit. You've got to take control of the objective, even if it's just one model with objective control 1. That's how you get it back. But until that moment, it is actually theirs. Now, while I'm on the article, again, because we're not talking about the detachment rule, I wanted to mention something else. I was looking at the Angron datasheet. Now, I'm not going through datasheets because this isn't a World Eaters channel. This is, of course, a Necron channel. We're trying to compete against these kind of factions. And I noticed in the abilities section, there's something quite cool. So, Reborn in Blood. Each time you make a Blessings of Khorne roll, which we know what that is now, the 8 dice that we spoke about in this video. If this model was destroyed, you can use a 666 from that roll to use this ability. And if you do so, this model is no longer destroyed and it's placed into reserves with its full wounds remaining. It's got 16 wounds, it's got 2+ armor save, toughness 11. You literally bring it back for free. Now, it does go into strategic reserves, which is a little bit... It makes it a little bit nicer for us, I suppose, because if that came straight onto the battlefield in that turn, that's nasty, right? Especially in their turn. But by the time you do actually get to kill Angron, it could be mid to late game anyway. It's then got to go into strategic reserve, so that could waste another turn entirely. So it may be too late by the time he comes back in. So what I would advise is don't kill Angron too early, is what I'd suggest. Don't kill him too early, because it just takes 3 6s out of the 8 dice to get him back. And if you get him back, if you kill him early and he comes back in turn 3, you are going to regret it. So yeah, just a little bit of strategy for you from what we've seen so far. We've of course not seen that much. We've not seen codexes, so we can't sort of give a full know your foe tactical strategy for the World Eaters. But as like we've done in the previous videos, we're kind of looking for weaknesses, looking for a bit of a playstyle against these factions. So guys, that is it from me today. As always, like and subscribe on your exits. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one.